This is a time to reap all that you planted with faith, hope, and perseverance. The blessing season is not by chance, it is the result of a process, a walk with ups and downs, but full of lessons and learning. In every overcoming difficulty, God has sown something new inside you, preparing the terrain for spiritual and emotional flowering. And now is the moment to flourish, to see the fruit sprout, to feel divine care manifesting in all areas of your life. In this video, we will reflect on how to recognize, value, and expand this divine season that begins, full of revealed opportunities and purposes. You are already subscribed to the channel, activates the bell, and share this message with those who also need this deep and renewing inspiration. Your life is about to witness daily miracles, and you will understand that living in blessing is a choice supported by faith and constancy. Often the blessings are already around us, but we go unnoticed because we are focused only on difficulties. Developing spiritual sensitivity is essential to recognize the signs of divine care. God manifests Himself in detail, in unexpected encounters, in doors that open silently. The grateful look allows us to see the extraordinary in everyday life. The change of perspective transforms what seemed common in personal miracles. When we look with gratitude, we recognize that each day brings a disguised gift. Blessings can come disguised as challenges, learning, or even waiting. The grateful heart values the process and not just the result. To recognize God's hand in each phase is to make room for Him to continue acting. Spiritual sensitivity is cultivated with attention, prayer, and humility. Daily, often ignored, are clear manifestations that the blessing is already flowing. A deliverance in traffic, an unexpected word, a meeting that changes everything. All of this are expressions of Father's love and care. Business season begins when you start seeing her. What changes is not what you get, but as you see. Those who honor the little prepare the heart for much. To value each step is to recognize that God is present at all times. The large blessings are built on small signs of fidelity and constancy. When you become alert, everything changes. The blessing is no longer distant and becomes part of your routine. It manifests itself where there is gratitude. To recognize is also to remember. Return to the past and realize how many times God took care of you, even when you did not notice. This memory activates faith to the present day. When you know it has been sustained before, you trust the present more easily. The same God who brought you here is the one who will take you even further. Trust in this process. Each blessing, however small, is proof that you are not alone. And when you value what you have, it comes to attract even more. The grateful heart becomes a magnet for the divine favor. Do not expect something grand to start to thank. Start now with what you have, and you will see how your vision will be transformed. The blessing has begun. Recognize. Make recognition a daily practice. Write, speak, declare the blessings you perceived throughout the day. This strengthens your faith and feeds your joy. The blessing season is real, but it needs to be noted. When you become aware of divine action, you live with more lightness, purpose, and hope. God acts in silence, but His impact is deep. Prayer is one of the greatest pillars that support the blessing season. To pray is not just to ask, but to align with the divine will and to recognize God's presence in all circumstances. It is in prayer that our spirit finds rest, clarity, and direction. The connection to the sky strengthens us to continue, even in the face of the challenges that may arise. Prayer is more than words, it is surrender, it is faith, it is intimate relationship with God. As we pray, We make room for God to reveal to us His plans and prepare us to receive them. We are often ready to ask, but not yet prepared to listen. Prayer teaches us to listen, wait, and trust. It is in this secret place that the greatest transformations are born. God visits us in prayer and enables us wisely to deal with the blessings He has already released. God's silence also speaks. Learn to listen. Constant prayer generates spiritual sensitivity. With it, we come to realize more clearly the signs, answers, and divine instructions. Which once seemed confusing now gains meaning. What seemed impossible becomes seen with the eyes of faith. Praying is like opening windows in a dark room. Suddenly it all lights up. It is in this light environment that the blessing season develops safely and depth. Even in times of abundance, be sure to seek God's presence with intensity. Prayer is not just a tool for difficult times, but a lifestyle. Whoever sometimes remains firm. Whoever sometimes remains humble. Prayer is the constant reminder that we do not control everything, but we are connected with the One who can all things. Prayer brings balance in times of blessing. The blessing season can bring new responsibilities and challenges that require more discernment. It is in prayer that we receive instructions not to lose ourselves in the midst of abundance. Poorly managed blessings can become burden. Therefore, praying is also a way of preserving the blessing and prevents it from turning into distraction. Prayer protects what has been planted and what is being harvested. Praying us helps our feet on the ground and eyes in the sky. Those who communicate with God constantly develop spiritual maturity to deal with the ups and downs of life. Constancy in prayer reveals trust, dependence, and love. God honors hearts that lean before Him with truth. In prayer we find strength to multiply the blessings received. Keep prayer as a daily habit and not as a last resort. The intimacy built through it will be the foundation of your journey. When you pray with faith, everything changes, maybe not outside immediately, but inside you. And it is from the inside out that the true transformation happens. Your blessing season blooms when watered with sincere prayer. Humility is fertile soil where the greatest blessings can sprout. When we recognize that everything comes from God and not from our own merit, we make room to receive more. To be humble is to understand that even with effort, it is divine grace that allows the harvest. The humble heart is taught, shaped, and constantly renewed. There is no blessing that lasts without humility to support it. Gratitude is the water that irrigates this soil, keeping the roots strong and deep. As you thank, we recognize that nothing is guaranteed to us, everything is present. Gratitude transforms environments, healing emotions, and aligns the heart with the sky. The grateful we are, the more conscious we get divine generosity. Life gets new shine when we learn to thank you for every detail. Be grateful in small gestures prepares us for great achievements. The one who thanks for the seed is the same who will bear fruit with joy. Do not expect great miracles to rejoice. Celebrate the simple food, shelter, health, people. All of this are expressions of God's goodness. Gratitude opens our eyes to what we already have and aligns our hearts to what is to come. Humility protects us from pride, which is the enemy of lasting blessings. When we think we deserve everything, we forget that we depend on grace. The humble posture attracts God's favor and connects us with our true purpose. Being small before God is the secret to living great things. He exalts those who humble themselves. When we combine humility and gratitude, we create a virtuous cycle of spiritual growth. The blessings do not go to the head, and the heart remains in the right place. With this base, we can advance safely, without losing its essence. God does not bless us only to be happy, but to be instruments of transformation. And it starts with an adjusted heart. What have you valued lately? Your attention reveals where your treasure is. Gratitude helps us redirect focus and recognize that we are already very blessed. Humility and gratitude go together, leading us through a path of peace and wisdom. This is the type of soil where miracles are born and remain. Keep this terrain well maintained. Start and finish the day with gratitude. Thank you for the visible blessings and also for the invisible. Pray for God to keep your heart humble in all situations. The blessing season requires maturity to be well lived. And this maturity is born of a soul that recognizes the source of everything, the love of God. Gratitude and humility attract the sky close. Perseverance is the basis that keeps firm the one who walks in the midst of blessings and challenges. Even in times of harvest, the journey requires constancy, focus, and faith. The blessing does not exclude the effort; she rewards him. Persevere is keeping your eyes on purpose even when feelings oscillate. It is understanding that stability comes from trust in God and not from circumstances. Blessing time also tests its constancy. And whoever perseveres, matures. Many people give up a step before the turn. They confuse silence with absence and delay with denial. But perseverance teaches that there has been a right time for everything. Even the more fruitful trees went through silent stations before flourishing. So it is also with us. The blessing has a maturation time. Persevere is to remain planted, even when nothing still sprouted visibly. God honors those who do not retreat in the face of waiting. Perseverance reveals real confidence, as it goes on even without immediate signs. The faith that moves in the dark is the one that most pleases God's heart. To persist is to declare with actions what the mouth has already professed in prayer. Faithfulness during the wait is what builds the character that will know how to honor the harvest. Don't stop. Continue. Persevere. Persevere does not mean insisting on something wrong, but staying firm in what has been directed by God. It is different from stubbornness. Perseverance is based on conviction, not emotion. She walks side by side with wisdom, listening to God's voice with each step. And even if adjustments are necessary, the persevering heart is always willing to obey. God thrives who is faithful in the process. The blessing season may be accompanied by new responsibilities, and with them, the need to remain stable. Many doors open, but it is necessary to not back down. Persevere is also taking care of the blessing received. It is managing well, maintaining zeal and reverence. It is not just about receiving, but of maintaining. Perseverance is continuity. The sweeter fruits are not harvested by those who are in a hurry, but by those who have patience and discipline. The sky rewards who remains. It is in the insistence of good that the largest harvests happen. Even when you don't see, something is moving. Every attitude of perseverance is a step more towards the manifestation of what has already been released. Its constancy attracts the fulfillment of the promise. Reinforce your mind with the Word, your faith with prayer, and your soul with rest in God. Do not allow adversities to deviate from what was promised. Persevere is continuing believing even when everything around you try to stop you. It is this posture that transforms the blessing season into a lasting time. Those who persevere bloom in any season. Receiving a blessing is a source of celebration, but also a call to responsibility. Everything God puts in our hands has a greater purpose than just making us happy. Responsibility with the blessing received shows spiritual maturity. We show honor in taking care, preserving, and sharing what we have entrusted to us. God wants us to be good administrators of what He gives us. This involves consciousness, zeal, and purpose. The blessing is a seed for the collective good. The blessings we receive are not the final destination, but part of the way to something even bigger. When we use what we receive to bless others, we multiply the impact of God's favor. This is how the blessing becomes eternal. When we live selfishly, we block the abundance cycle. But when it divides, we created a provision current. What goes through us grows. What is retained is lost. Responsibility begins in the details. How we take care of our house, our family, our gifts. Each area played by a blessing requires attention and dedication. We cannot live in a careless way after we receive something so precious. Maturity is not to waste what was conquered with prayer and faith. Being faithful in little is the key to being placed on the much. When God trusts us something, He observes how we react. If we use wisely, He trusts more. But if we neglect, we lose growth opportunities. The blessing is testing as much as it is reward. Our posture after receiving reveals our heart. Maintaining fear and active gratitude helps us walk with balance. Nothing must be more important than pleasing God with what we have. We also need to understand that blessings require management. Time, resources, relationships, all this needs wisdom. The responsibility is daily, not punctual. It is not enough to have received, it is necessary to develop, take care, and multiply. The blessing should not become a weight, but a mission. And those who manage with excellence is rewarded with expansion. Good administration is practical praise. The greatest blessings are those that transform us and align us with the divine plane. When we use what we have with generosity and purpose, we witness to God's goodness in action. We are called to be channels, not deposits. Everything we receive has a greater function. The responsibility is to let it flow. The blessing that passes through us touches the world around us. Evaluate your honesty walk. How have you dealt with the blessings you've received? Is there zeal, intentionality, and gratitude in your daily life? Remember that fidelity is a language that heaven understands. The blessing season continues and strengthens the lives of those who live responsibly. God's favor is abundant, but He looks for hearts ready to take care of what He delivers. We have come to recognize that living a season of blessings is more than experiencing miracles, it's a lifestyle. It is to walk with awareness that every detail of our trajectory is aligned with a larger plane. The fullness of the blessing is not only in what we receive, but how we live after receiving. The purpose is continuous, and the call is daily. This is not an event, but a constant journey of transformation. The harvest requires emotional and spiritual preparation to deal with the fruits. Many want the blessings, but they do not want the responsibilities. To live the fullness is also to remain in essence humility, gratitude, prayer, perseverance, and obedience. These are the pillars that support true growth. There is no fullness without foundation. The blessing needs deep roots to remain in firm soil. Maturity supports multiplication. Each season lived so far has contributed to the now. Nothing was in vain. The fights, the tears, the restarts all built a base for you to be ready to flourish. To live in full is to honor the process, to understand that blessings do not nullify the evidence, but rather re-signify them. You have come here for a reason, and the best is yet to come. Live with that certainty. In closing this content, it is only the beginning of a new stance in the face of life. May you embrace this season with courage, faith, and conscience. Share your blessings, inspire people, and stay firm in purpose. Your testimony may be the motivation someone needs. Your transformation can be the seed of hope to another heart. Never underestimate the scope of the good you carry. Stay in constant communion with God. Do not move away from the source, even with a heart full of gratitude. Keep praying, thanking you, seeking wisdom and discernment. The connection with the divine is what keeps the blessing alive. Without intimacy with God, the blessing loses its shine. With Him, everything is renewed. His presence is the greatest gift. Be intentional every day. Wake up knowing that you live a season of blessings, even in the details. Declare with faith, walk with hope, and sow with love. Your journey is unique and important. The sky is attentive. Life with God is full of purpose and beauty. And when we recognize this, we not only receive blessings, we become blessing. Finally, if this message touched your heart, share it with someone. Subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, and stay with us on this walk of faith. May this season of blessings be just the beginning of a new story full of peace, purpose, and achievements. May you live each day with the conviction that God is acting. And may your life be a reflection of His goodness wherever you go.